Hey everybody, Schiavone here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're an OG subscriber, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and let's get into it. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about why skinny guys struggle to gain size and build muscle. And as a former skinny guy myself, I know how hard it is to put on mass. So these are some of the biggest lessons I've learned, or the biggest mistakes you guys out there are making that's sabotaging you being able to put some mass on your frame. And this accounts for both guys and girls. So let's get into them now. So the first reason why people struggle to put on size if you're a skinny guy is you're not eating enough food. And this accounts for 95% of people's problems, is that you're just not getting in the calories and you're not getting in the protein. That's because most people don't really have an understanding of why food is so important. And for years, I would follow plans that I would get out of bodybuilding magazines and websites, and I would do them, but you put all that effort in and you'd never get any bigger. Because I didn't know the importance of food and calories at that point. And it wasn't until I started looking at it, I realized that I was eating maybe 1,000 calories or more a day less than I needed to be in order to grow. So if you're not eating your calories, you're not gonna get bigger, you're not really gonna get stronger, you're not gonna be able to grow all that muscle you want. So the first thing we need to fix is getting in your food. And the simple thing is if in doubt, just eat more. And if you're a skinny guy, you can probably get away with eating that little bit more kind of junk food and shitty food than other people would to allow you to bulk up. But we still really want to be sticking with better quality foods, better quality carbohydrates, good quality protein sources. I like to follow flexible dieting, and I follow what we call the 80-20 rule. So 80% of my food for the day is good, clean, healthy carbohydrates and proteins and fats, like minimally processed foods. And then 20% of my day, I have whatever the fuck I like. Pop-Tarts, donuts, shortbread, cake, I like Cocoa Pops, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we want to do, man. We want to get eating, and that's gonna stick on some muscle. So our second reason is that you're following a body part split, or what's known as a bro split. And this is where you're training individual muscle groups once per week, because they all have their own individual day. So arm day, chest day, leg day, back day, shoulder day. It's a surefire way to not make great progress. So you might see the big guys, the Olympia athletes, the bodybuilders, doing these kinds of splits, but they are not you. They have the genetics to be able to grow better than you. They've got years more experience. Often they're trying to just build and sculpt certain parts of their body in certain ways, and they're all on fuck tons of steroids, which hopefully you are not. So what you really need to be doing is training body parts multiple times per week to maximize growth. So you should be hitting things like legs or chest, shoulders twice a week, 3 times a week. If you really want to focus on an area, you want to be building it up 4, maybe even 5 times a week for smaller muscle groups that have higher levels of endurance. Things like shoulders and abs can take more of a pounding throughout a week. But if you really want to grow, you've got to start looking at training your body parts multiple times per week, not just once. So the third reason is that many of us guys and girls, especially in today's modern age, have really high expectations, okay? We expect too much too quickly, okay? You're not going to be able to build tons and tons of muscle in a couple of months, okay? You'll often see adverts online saying, oh, scientists have found this way to build 40 pounds of muscle in like 2 weeks. I've seen all sorts. That stuff is just like really bullshit marketing that's there to get you to buy supplements, okay? Building muscle is a slow process. We are talking about periods of months and years, okay? I mean, I have put on around 25 kilos of muscle in my time, but that has taken me the better part of 18 years to build up that size from when I was just, you know, a skinny 17-year-old kid. So don't expect things overnight. You're not just going to be able to start doing this, pop a few pills and a protein shake and look like all the people you follow on Instagram. They've taken years to get to that point. They've got awesome genetics. There's also the steroid thing that nobody talks about, but it's highly prevalent, especially within people on social media. So you just need to cut yourself some slack and realize that naturally, if you can gain 1 or 2 pounds of muscle a month when you're beginning as a skinny guy, you're doing good. But that's about all you should ever really expect. When you're more experienced and you're further down the line, if you can build 1 to 2 kilos, so what's that? 4 pounds of muscle a year, then you're still doing pretty well. Unless, like I said, that you're on steroids, in which case, you know, you can go off into the fucking stratosphere. But if you're sticking natural, doing it properly, then, you know, you gotta realize this is gonna take time. So the fourth reason that you guys are struggling to put on mass is that, so it's kind of almost like two reasons rolled into one, but it's that you're thinking that you're better than just the basics and you're doing too many exercises, okay? The basics are there for a reason and they've stood the test of time because they work. So your training should revolve around your basic compound lifts. Squats, bench press, deadlifts, shoulder press, bent over rows, and hip thrusts, I believe, should be in there. So a lot of people they'll do some of that, but then they'll spend too much time focusing on doing a lot of isolation work, training abs, leg extensions, bicep curls, tricep push downs. Working all the smaller muscles on their own in isolation is not going to build you as much muscle as if you just focus on progressing and improving your main staple big basic lifts. So the final point I want to make is that as skinny guys, one of the reasons that a lot of us are skinny, or skinny girls, one of the reasons we're skinny is because we're very active, or we have quite fast and active metabolisms. So what that means is that we're going to struggle to put on weight and build muscle because we're being too active. So it's good to be healthy, it's good to be active, you know, and going out, getting some cardio in, walking, going around, but that can be counterproductive to when we're wanting to build muscle mass. So if you want to get bigger, you want to get stronger, and you're a naturally very small, lean guy, you kind of want to rein in on the physical activity you're already doing and frankly be a little bit lazier. It's going to save you some calories, and it means you're not going to have to necessarily eat as much to compensate, but it's going to be much better for your growth. Okay, so before we wrap this video up, I'm going to give you guys one more bonus tip as to why, as a skinny guy or girl, you're struggling to put on mass, and that's because you don't have a plan. So I see it all the time. I see guys come into the gym and they just kind of go and do what they want. They'll go lift this, they'll go do that, train a bit of chest, train a bit of arms, maybe do some legs, whatever. If you don't have a plan, you're never really going to be able to progress your lifts properly and make progress you want to make. You're not going to build muscle. You're not really going to get stronger. You need to go in knowing exactly what lifts you're going to be doing, how many sets, how many reps, the intensity you want to be working at. And then each week you want to be able to go in and increase that. You want to beat it. You want to beat the weight. You want to beat the reps. You want to beat the sets, however you want to progress it. But you need to know what you're progressing it, how you're progressing it, and how much you're going to progress it by. Because it's that constant progression of the moves up through the weights, up through the rep ranges, that's going to accumulate volume, which basically means you're moving more weight each week. And that means more muscle, more size, more strength. If you're going in and you're just winging it every single session, then you're never going to get anywhere. What results do you expect to get if you have no plan? So you got to plan it. Get a logbook, get a good app, set yourself up a good spreadsheet, hire a coach. Those would be my recommendations. One or not all of those, one or some of those, and just sit and plan it out. Plan it around the big compound basic moves I talked about, your squats, your deadlifts, your bench, your shoulder press, that kind of stuff. Your big moves, pick 2 to 3 of those to work the main muscle groups, and then towards the end, you add in a couple of accessory exercises, so isolation work, okay? So that would be your bicep curls, your calves, your tricep work, shoulder isolation stuff like lateral raises, okay? That comes at the end. So big stuff to little stuff. Always have a plan and you will be onto a winning formula. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you guys would give it a big thumbs up. Leave a comment if you've got something you want to say or talk about. Don't forget, please hit that subscribe button wherever I put it, and stay tuned for more videos like this.